What's up, Scrappy peeps? It's Del from Inkie Quill, and today we're doing a bit of a flashback back to when this little potato-headed goofball sat on Santa's knee for the first time and had his first Christmas photos done. Now, I did struggle a little bit with the photo placement. We had 6 photos taken, but I did decide to only use 4 of them, and the other 2 I just slipped in with my behind some Project Life photos for that week, because I do combine my pocket pages and my layouts together. I do get a lot of questions about that. I have one flip through over here of my January 2016 album over here on YouTube, and then every month on Patreon I flip through one of my albums. So if you're not one of my patrons, you should be able to find that video somewhere here on YouTube and see how I combine my pocket pages and my layouts. So there's nothing like a little bit of Christmas festivities in the mid-year. I feel like sometimes it's nice to actually be quotations behind with your scrapbooking, because you get to relive really fun times of the year once the moment has passed, like birthdays or holidays. So it's often a good thing about leaving your Christmas photos until the middle of the year to scrap. So I did struggle at first with this layout because it's multiple photo and photos of different sizes. Now, sometimes I find that when you do a multiple photo layout, it can sometimes be a blessing to have different size photos, but with this one, I think because they were so similarly coloured, and yeah, it was just quite difficult, and the 4x6 photo just felt ginormous compared to the other 3x4s. So I decided to do a bit of a paper kind of focal point, I guess you could say, if you want to be dramatic, a paper focal point on the left hand side of the layout. And so I'm using some Christmas papers as well as some old sticker trim that I just wanted to use up, and I'm picking out the colors that were in the photos, so blues and reds, and then that deep blue of the tissue paper as well. I love this vellum. Can't remember where it's a crepe paper one, but it'd be a couple of years old now, I'm thinking, because when I made this layout I used my Christmas stash, which I made for, I think I made it for my 2015 December daily and failed at completing it. I actually think there's a video over here on YouTube of me making this December, gathering all the papers and things, possibly. So I'm trying to use up my stash this year, and I've been pretty good so far. I haven't, well, touch wood, probably by the time this video comes out I may have bought something, but I've been pretty good and haven't bought a lot of things. I'm trying to use up my stash and use up the halfway used things that are just lying around and being forgotten about. So once I had this part done, I decided to stick down my photos, and you don't realize how little space you have on a layout like this until you start sticking down your photos. I forgot that the paper focal point on the left hand side took up quite a bit of space, and so you will see that I will have to, I think I trim the 4x6 photo slightly so that it can fit on there. By the way, my computer is making some very loud UFO sounding noises right now. It must be doing a bit of a workout, and it's making some noises, so if you can hear that in the background, I'm sorry about that. So now I really love the way that those photos look like one giant photo strip, and I rediscovered some washi tapes that I'd hidden away in this Christmas box of goodies, and so they were very handy for filling in the little spaces down here and also covering that edge, just because it felt like it was a bit more complete when the edge of the photos was covered so that you couldn't see that they were separate images. So now I realize that I am going to have to trim that photo just a smidge to let it fit in, and it kind of worked out well because they took the photo, some of the photos are very off center. I will admit it wasn't the best setup for the Christmas photo. I was choosing between two different shopping centres to visit, and I ended up with this one because it would have been less busy. And I love the photos, and I love the blue because I'm more of a non-traditional Christmas colour person, I guess you could say. But some of the photos are a little bit wonky, so some trimming was needed anyway. So I'm matting this photo on. The papers that I'll be using for this are old, and I don't think you'll be able to get them. There's a few, I think, Stamping Up ones possibly even in there from before I started actually scrapbooking. There's all sorts of things in this Christmas concoction. There is enough supplies, I guess you could say, in this box of Christmas things for me to scrap all the Christmases of the rest of my life. Honestly, I don't know why I thought I was going to require so many things to do one December daily album, but you live and you learn. I was thinking that this photo needed a little something to make it not so photo-y. That may sound silly, but everything was just very blocky and straight, with all of those photo edges and the strips of the paper being so straight. And so by adding a little curved doily in there, it kind of gives a bit of delicate texture, but it also breaks up the monotonous straightness of all of the photo edges. That may not make any sense, but in my brain it makes a little bit of sense, so we'll hope for the best. So now I was trying to figure out a more creative title, and of course I didn't. I went with a generic title, but you know what? Sometimes it's just nice to go with a very obvious title. This one is called First Santa Photo because it is his first Santa photo, and don't feel pressured to always come up with the latest and greatest trendy things and the titles. I often get overwhelmed when looking on Instagram at a lot of the big design team photos, because my style isn't always what they are showing. I think I use a little bit more mixed media than is typically used in some of the American Crafts DTs, and sometimes I feel like my layouts aren't good enough or they're not right. But the thing that I love about scrapbooking is that there is no right, because you're documenting your own memories. You're not documenting, Jane and Sue's memories from over there. You're documenting your own memories, and you can do it whatever way you want. You can even do it without any pattern paper. You could even document your memories without a photo and just journal and use other ephemera pieces. It's completely up to you. I will say though, I have been saving onto these alphabet thickers and waiting for the perfect opportunity. So when I saw them in the box, I was very excited, because I remember when I bought them, I was umming and ahhing about them for ages, and I was thinking, do I really need very flashy, gaudy red glitter thickers in my life? And I think I bought them near Christmas, and the inner festive fun person inside me was like, yes, you definitely need them. And so I've actually, years later, finally used them, so I'm glad about that. So now I'm just adding a few little puffy stars, because I relate stars with Christmas. I don't know if it's because the top of the tree is usually a star or an angel or whatever you like to put on the top of your tree, but growing up I always had a star, and so I see them as a fun Christmassy icon, I guess you could say. I think the reason why I fail with December daily and December scrapping, particularly December daily, is the daily aspect of it, but my project life is basically daily anyway. But I also struggle with the traditional Christmas icons. I struggle to decorate with Santas and presents, and polar bears seem to be a big thing apparently for Christmas scrapbook embellishments, and I do struggle to use those things. I'm more of a generic shape kind of gal. Give me hearts, give me stars, give me florals, give me arrows, and I'm a happy camper. So now I'm adding a bit of journaling at the top here, and I didn't really need to say too much about it. The thing with my scrapbook albums is because we have our daily vlog channel, Mr. and Mrs Rad, a lot of the memories are captured in video as well. So a lot of the time I don't feel like I have to repeat everything that happens, I guess. I do a lot of journaling on the back of layouts, but yeah, I don't always have to add pages and pages of journaling. Anyway, this video is all done. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of a festive cheer in the middle of the year. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Bye!